Discover the Marketing Checklist, your guide if you are an overwhelmed and overthinking entrepreneur. In today's episode with Hank and Sharyn Yuloff. And what's so special about Hank and Sharyn is that they are small business coaches, authors of 8 best-selling business books. They hold small business breakthrough boot camps several times a year and have hosted almost 400 episodes of their podcast, the Marketing Checklist Viewcast. And they focus on marketing, sales, public speaking, and HR, the 4 areas where most entrepreneurs say that they struggle. And what's so special about this session is that you will learn how to market your business even if you don't like marketing. So tell us about how can entrepreneurs become really effective marketers.
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
You want to take this one?
Sure. Okay. It starts with knowing who it is that you want to market to. So you probably heard that you need to niche your market. And most small business owners, especially when they're starting, get freaked out by that. I don't want to niche. What if I'm missing out? So there's a few things. So first of all, you're not missing out. Your target is one thing, but your net will capture wider. But also it's about the message, right? So who is it that you want this message to reach? Don't try and capture your whole audience with one message. No one's going to feel like you're talking to them.
Well, that and like when we hear their elevator pitch, so often it starts, well, anyone who needs.
Right. Or everyone with.
It's like, well, when I hear that, when I hear someone that talks about their business, our first goal is we want to connect them with somebody. How can we be of service to them and help them? But if they said, I want to be on a podcast and I want to, it should be someone who has published books and she's been on stage and she presents well. And, I know Lily and you need to talk to her about being on her show, as opposed to anyone who has a podcast. It's you're not
a bazillion out there.
Yeah. So be able to talk about who your audience is. Look, you introduced us as small business coaches, and a lot of coaches, I work with small to medium sized. We know our niche. We like working on the 1 to 10 employees maybe, and that's what brings us joy, and it's where we work the best. So there you go. Well done. Good job. Great answer. Yay.
Thank you. So what's the biggest problem that overwhelmed and overthinking entrepreneurs have with marketing, and how can they overcome that?
The first mistake that we see all the time, they didn't budget for marketing. They think, I'll just put stuff on social media because that's free. They didn't come figure out, I need to have followers, I need to generate an audience, I need to that social media is not a fastest path to cash. So they aren't budgeting for it. And by budgeting, it doesn't have to be ads. Maybe you're in a town and you could join a chamber or networking groups. Well, that takes some revenue. You might do some ads in other ways. You might exhibit at trade shows. You might be there are a lot of ways that you can promote your business. And sometimes their marketing part is they don't budget their time to do it. They're so busy being busy that, they didn't put in their calendar, today I'm going to, schedule an hour of cold calls or an hour of follow-up calls. And that's really one of the biggest things that we see that's a mistake. It doesn't get budgeted time or money.
And because it doesn't get budgeted, anyone that comes along with whatever shiny object, fashionable thing of the day is, that's where they suddenly throw money and or time at without really thinking through, is that where my audience is? Right? So-and-so calls them and says, I've got this great new publication and you could take out this ad, and they don't think to ask, who's the readership? And then is that readership my readership? Because if it doesn't jive with what you're doing, why invest your time and dollars to creating that ad and placing that ad in that publication, as an example?
Thank you. For overthinking and overwhelmed entrepreneurs, I think one big problem is actually having too many options. So first, how do you choose what you should do? So you did mention, choose something that makes sense to your business in terms of looking at, okay, is the readership going to be relevant? But let's say for someone who has like so many options and has so many good options, how do you choose something? Because I think that the easiest thing when you have too many options and you're overwhelmed and you're overthinking, the easiest choice is to do nothing. So how do you go from doing nothing to doing something? Because I find that when you have too many choices, it's just so easy to literally do nothing.
Yes. We tend to start with, well, what's the fastest path to cash? Which one is going to bring you the most money the fastest?
Or I just need to make my first sale. I need proof of concept.
So that's usually the first thing. If that's still too overwhelming and you're still overthinking it, then what is the fastest thing you can do? What's one thing you can do right now? If it's a post, that's fine. Make a post on social media. At least it's something. And then move on to the next thing. Is there a chamber you could join? Is there another organization where your ideal clients, customers, and referral partners are already part of that organization? Could you go and attend? Could you speak? There are so many options. Which one is going to get you into motion fastest?
Lily, there's another thing that we train our clients to do is to actually have a list of things you want to do to market your business and to rank them. All the ones you want to do, and then what are the top three? Those go at the top, and then what's the one that
of the three?
And since you help people publish books, look, when we have an idea for a new book, it goes to number one on our to-do list. So that if a client calls and say, "Oh my God, I have to postpone my coaching call. Can we do that?" Okay, well, all of a sudden we have a gap in our schedule. We look at our list of things. Okay, what are our, what's the highest and best use of our time? Let's look at our marketing list. What's at the top? Oh, I can do something that's going to move the publication of that book along. Or we use our different books. One of them talks about being in business together. That's at number 9 on our marketing list. Wow, I should reach out to a podcast person that does relationship podcasting because we have a book that we can talk about that'll help a segment of her audience. So, having the list does help.
Thank you. You have a book, which is a marketing checklist for sales. I'm wondering, what kind of steps do you recommend entrepreneurs take to make sure that they make more sales if they're feeling overwhelmed and generally overthinking?
I'll give you to it. I'll do one answer and you do one answer.
Okay, well, we kind of been doing that.
Yeah, my answer is to understand that no matter what you do, you're in sales. We do 30-minute free coaching calls. People, can sign up and we do it. One we did 2 days ago. Well, I'm not really in sales. Like, I'm sorry, you're the only person in your business. You are selling baked goods to restaurants and stores. If you don't go out and make sales calls, how do you expect them to find you? And she said, well, I'm going to post on social media and I'll have a website. Like, well,
the days when you can hang a shingle and just think someone's going to walk in the door, physical or digital, right? Those days are over.
I'm in the yellow pages. Yeah. Really? That's called the internet now. Yeah. So, and the other part is following up. That's Sharyn is our ace follower upper. I speak for a living.
Yeah, when I learned that 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th touch, if you're one of those 3 strikes, you're out. Person, I certainly was till I learned that. You're leaving money on the table. Keep following up. People's priorities are not your priorities. So keep going.
Tell you what, Lily, has this happened to you? You hand your card to someone and you say, or you get a card from someone, you say, "Oh my God, I completely want to buy whatever it is. It's a service you could use. Here's my card, call me." And they never call. It happens all the time with us. We connected at a local university. We were speaking there. One of the students she wants to run an airline. Great goal. we're going to be in an event where the president of an airline based on the East Coast is speaking. I said, would you like to bring, go with us and we'll introduce you to him? Of course I do. Great. I sent her the date. The email came back. Our college is going to be on spring break, so I won't be around. Like, okay, you had an opportunity to get connected with someone who does exactly what you want to do, and you dropped the ball. You're not, I would have changed whatever spring break things I had going on. But
she doesn't want it badly, though.
Exactly. So gotta want, the mistake some business owners had. Let's go back 4 questions. They don't want it bad enough, and that's sad. But
Thank you. Tell us, what other tips are there for entrepreneurs who want to make sales, and what would you have them do to make sure that they close more sales aside from what you've already said?
Well, let's see. Let's start with the list. For the person we were talking to the other day, I said, all right, I want you to find 25 restaurants in your area within 10 miles that you would like to sell your baked goods to. And we took her through the process. All right, you're going to have 25 of them. In fact, she's doing it this week. 5, I said 5 a day. You're gonna walk in, not during meal hours, that like 11 to 1, no, because they're busy, but other times. You're going to have a sample. You're not going to be dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. You might even be dressed as a baker. Good, that was a brilliant idea, Sharyn. And so we gave her, this is your plan. Now, once you've done that this week, you're going to have to follow up, because we can't expect them to just remember you. So make your list. What is your message that's going to go to them? Segment it out by, in her case, it's are they restaurants? Are they little coffee shops? They were segmented out. So you want to just definitely have a plan for what you're going to do. Follow up. It's going to take a bunch of time. Always keep adding people into your sales funnel. And once you've made sales, make sure you're following up, because serving your clients is vitally important. Now, tell you what, if you're watching this, if you want a whole book on it, all you have to do is reach out to us and we'll send you this book for free. There, just because we were giving you a bunch of stuff really fast.
Thank you. What are the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when trying to sell anything?
Anything's kind of broad. I think that, trying to think of another way to, yeah, I do. Go for it.
So one of the challenges that we see is that they conflagrate sales and marketing, right? So I need more sales, and they go straight to the sale. So I've just met you and I'm going to go straight for the sale. They don't do the marketing part. If you nail down the marketing part, the sales part is easy. You're making it too hard because you're going straight for the sale. I may never have another chance to meet Lily again. I'm going to sell her right now. No, don't do it. You're going to turn people off.
Yeah, we've all been at that event where the person, as soon as you meet, here's 3 of my cards. Keep 1 and hand 2 to your friend.
I don't even know you yet. You don't even know who I know yet. No.
Thank you. So how do you avoid becoming a pushy salesperson when you're trying to promote your business? What are the don'ts?
Be more focused on being interested than interesting. Build that relationship. You don't know yet who they know, what they need, if you can solve their challenge. You don't know any of that yet. So get to know that people are still buying from people. So far, bots aren't buying from other bots. It's still people buying from people. So be a person. Have questions and get to know them.
We have a thing we call form, where if you're not sure how to ask questions, just remember the word form. Ask them about their family, their occupation. What do they do? What do they do when they're not doing what they do? And when I'm asking questions of someone I've just met, I am trying to go through my mental Rolodex. Who do I know that I can connect them with? How can I be of service? Being of service is the fastest way of getting the conversation turned back to what you do. And honestly, we know we don't have to sell everyone. There are plenty of other business coaches. They'll pick up the slack for the folks that aren't working with us. And it's okay. We understand that. One of our secrets to success is that I am an acquired taste and Sharyn is much nicer than I am. So that worked. But if we can connect somebody and get them business, that's really a neat thing for us. One of our goals is, obviously to help other businesses, and it's really important to do that.
Thank you. One question that I always ask, and that's because my intention is always to help, to support, to see who I can introduce. One question I always ask is, how can I support you? And one funny thing about that is that one previous podcast guest told me that actually that comes across bad because it makes it sound like I'm trying to get something for me, and that is really not my intention at all. So my intention is to think about, okay, who can I introduce? How can I support? And how can I help the person in front of me? So I'm wondering about, are there any particular questions to avoid when you're trying to network effectively so that you can come across the right way, so you can market yourself and your business effectively and not kind of fall into, trouble of misunderstandings? And
tell you what, when we do one particular webinar talking about social media, people always ask, what should you post? And we talk about that, but there are some things we say not to post, religion, politics, if you have a particular favorite sports team, you may want to, not bring that up. Look,
if they have a big rival.
Yeah. I happen to root for one particular baseball team, and I have found that our biggest rival, did you know that the money of fans of that other team, their money spends exactly the same? So, we grew up in Los Angeles, and UCLA and USC fans just go at it, but UCLA money spends the same as SC money. What is it? Minnesota Viking money spends the same as Green Bay Packer money. So
the same thing goes for conversation. I mean, that's the social media, but it's the same thing when you're talking in person. It's just social media. The word is social, right? So it's still the same rules apply if you're talking to someone in person. And I don't know that there's a person on the planet that hasn't accidentally stuck their foot in their mouth. It happens. So give yourself some grace. Give the other person grace if it happens on their side. Own it, apologize for it, and find another way to say it or change the conversation or, something.
Yeah.
Thank you. What I found is that, for example, I used to organize salsa parties that were intended for entrepreneurs to come and socialize and have a little bit of fun. And at the same time, meet the kind of entrepreneurs that perhaps were not attracted to book publishing. And that was, my indirect way of attracting, entrepreneurs. And what I found quite funny was at one point, there was this lady who came and I asked her what she did for a living. And she was avoidant, like she was really embarrassed. And I couldn't understand why. And
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. And Harry, my partner, told me secretly, I think she's a waitress or she works in a theater, or I can't remember exactly what she does. But what I found quite interesting about that is that I wouldn't have judged her for that, because I actually come from, I used to be a nanny. I used to clean houses. And I find that even for people that do that, I would find a way to help them, to kind of suggest them something that would be useful. Like, even if it came something around like, can you, think of something to kind of clean your house that, you hadn't considered, or I could have considered of, okay, are you looking for a better job? Or, there's so many different things that I would have been useful for. And my intention was, of course, to be useful and not to judge as well. So I find quite interesting how touchy-feely, the topic of, what do you do is. So I wondered, are there any particular questions that you would kind of avoid or rephrase to avoid kind of landing in hot water and to make people feel comfortable so you can market yourself and your business more effectively?
One of two questions that will come to mind that are arguing in my head for which one gets to go out first. One question I would ask is, hey, what made you decide to come here tonight? What were your plans? And another is, what did you want to be when you were 10 years old, and how did that work out? I wanted to be the left fielder for, again, a particular baseball team that I'm a fan of. Turns out I couldn't hit a curveball, so I no longer decided to play baseball. Yeah, but most people have one of those stories. What did they want to be when they?
Thank you. So how would you say, for example, the question of like, how would you like to collaborate, or how can I support you? How would you say that in a way that feels more, appealing for people that actually would like to collaborate, but you don't want to like come across as too pushy, or in a way that you're looking for stuff for yourself instead?
I'd put it back on them. Look, I think that this conversation has been great, Lily. Do you see a way that we could work together? Is there a referral partnership that we could work out? Is there some joint venture? Is there something? What do you see? And ask them. You don't have to come up with all the ideas.
Yeah, and you might want to start with, it's been a great conversation. I like you immediately, and so if you don't like them, don't go into joint ventures with them. Just going to share that part.
Yeah.
Don't force that part on yourself. So be really truthful. I don't have an idea now, but if I get an idea and think of you for working together on some project, can I call?
Or reach out, right? Maybe it's not a call, maybe it's an email, whatever it is. But yeah.
Thank you. What other marketing tips do you have for entrepreneurs who want to market their business effectively?
Let's see. Have a plan. Don't expect whatever you're doing to market your business to work every time. Although I will give you one marketing tactic that does work every time. You really do need to be an author, everybody. And if you're not an author yet, look, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just going to say you really do need to have a conversation with Lily. Our books, and again, we have 8 of them that have come over a period of time. Our books are one of the best marketing tactics and tools that we use. So many other small business people, they'll have that like 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
Or their business card.
Yeah, and that's what they do. Well, great. That's buy my stuff, as opposed to, I have all this really great information about sales here. This is for you. And yeah, you better be right. There are a whole bunch of ways you can remember who we are in the book, but we're not just handing a brochure. We're handing useful information to your target audience. So I think that you're helping people become authors. It's an amazing thing that you do for small business owners. So that's what I love that part of it. But having a variety of things. My first job out of college, I worked for a direct mail company, and every week our advertising piece was in a mailbox on a Wednesday. And if it rained on Wednesday, we knew our advertisers were not going to do as well because the piece was printed on newsprint, and every time those got wet, they were just thrown out. So be flexible in what you're doing. Know that sometimes they aren't going to work. If you're running ads on Facebook and Facebook has an outage,
that never happens.
Never happens. So you've got to be flexible. Look, 80% of the original Fortune 500 is out of business, between 1955 and now. So they were the hugest of biggest businesses, and they're gone. So you've got to be flexible in what you're doing and understand that there are other great ideas that come along.
Thank you. What are the top habits, routines, or apps that can be leveraged for entrepreneurs to market their business?
Ooh, habit. Talk about your tickler file.
Sure. I still file a paper, right? Not just all digitally. I mean, we do have digital files as well, but I do have some paper files. So I have a tickler file, right? 1 through 31 for the days of the month, and then January through December for the days of the year. I meet you. You say, I would love to continue the conversation, but this month is really busy. Could you call me next month? Sure. I get home. I'm going to put your business card in the right day of that, in that tickler file. So yes, then the app that goes along with that for me is the calendar. If it's not calendared, it's not going to get done. To-do lists are great. They're really easy. I can make a really big list, and then I feel like I haven't gotten anything done because that list never got transferred to the calendar. And so it never actually got scheduled. So those things didn't get done. So now you feel like I haven't done anything all day. You did a ton. You just didn't calendar it. And then so you didn't realize that actually you were asking way too much of yourself in one day. And some of it will need to wait till tomorrow or maybe even week.
That is a real good one. Look, as far as tools, we use a greeting card system where it mails an actual greeting card in the mail, as opposed to just emails. And I know that we have 8 different segmented lists, and to design and send that card, I know it takes me about 2 hours, start to finish, and a couple of thousand, greeting cards are going to go out in every month. That's one of the tools that we love using. Direct mail is a great marketing tool in general. The one we use is awesome. Being consistent, if you want to call it a tool, it's a habit. You've got to be consistent with what you're doing. We haven't missed a month in sending out those cards in forever. When we do our podcast, the first 5 years we did it, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, we were on the air, being consistent. So if you want what you're doing to work, let it work for you in consistency. It's kind of like in financial planning. When you save on a consistent basis, you let time and the power of money work for you.
Thank you. So do you still send these postcards?
Yeah.
Yes. Do they work as well as email marketing or better?
They work differently. We send out, it's a positive message. It's not a sales piece. And we have found that in different parts of the country, it works better than others. We're on the East Coast now. It seems to work better in Maryland than it did in Northern Arizona. We're involved in a couple of different chambers of commerce, and we will notice that people will come up and say, "Oh, you're the ones that send those cards every month. I love those. That positive message, I have them all over my desk." So yeah, they work wonderfully for breaking the ice in advance, and they are one more follow-up tool that we have with prospects.
Remember those, right? Those 5 to 12 touches. It's just another touch.
So it's a way of reaching out.
So it's not that email marketing doesn't work. It does. And when we have something urgent, right? Hey, we have this new podcast that got finished and posted, right? We have a new blog post. We're doing a webinar, right? We're not going to mail a greeting card for that. We can't rely on the post office delivering those things at times. So email marketing is very effective, especially if you know and you have your target audience dialed in and your list is.
Thank you. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
Kind of simple. If you want a half hour with us, we know that one of the things everybody asks is, how do I get there faster? Go to howtogettherefaster.com. That's our schedule link. But of course, our website is Yuloff Creative, and we are on most of the social media sites. Our favorites are Facebook and Alignable and LinkedIn. But again, the easiest way is to reach out for a half hour of time. We'll send you a couple of our books for free and get you focused.
Thank you.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.